Hey guys, welcome to another interesting segment on Home Truth Nigeria. So today I'd like to talk on the topic what Nigerian men think about dating women online. Now, a lot of you listening to me, you've actually maybe met your Nigerian man online, either through social media, Facebook, Instagram, or on a dating site. Now, one thing that has been floating around for years is the fact that a lot of Nigerian men who come online don't actually take online dating seriously. All of some of you, it's like, okay, do these men actually take online dating seriously? Or the men you meet online, do they actually consider relationship that was developed online to be serious? Well, to understand this, you need to know how Nigerian men actually meet their partners. You need to actually know how Nigerian men, where they get to see their partners before a relationship or something serious is formed. And that brings me to the topic: different ways Nigerian men meet their partners. So you need to understand this to have a concept on Nigerian men and dating women online. So the first way most Nigerian men meet their partners is through the church. I'm a Christian, so I would talk about the church. Now, a lot of Nigerian men meet their partners in church or in churches. So it's more like the number one and the safest place for most Nigerian men to meet their partners. Reason being that in the church, you can account for the character of that lady. The character of that lady can be accounted for. Apart from that, it has this spiritual foundation, which a lot of Nigerian men actually are looking at for a woman who is basically God fearing. And it is easier to keep track of what that lady is all on about because you're all in the same church. You can get information from her friends, and most importantly, you have the pastor, who is the shepherd of the church, who is actually watching the whole thing and making sure that the relationship or the courtship you guys are about to go in, it's one that is godly and not defiled, with sin. Basically, he keeps the relationship or between the both of you sinless, allows you guys to embrace courtship instead of dating. So this is the number one place most Nigerian men meet their partners. In fact, a lot of Nigerian men would go to churches, to find a wife, to find a partner, because they believe the woman they get from church is godly and God fearing and would make a better partner. Now, the next place most Nigerian men meet their partner is through family connection. So, this is another way most Nigerians meet their partner through family connection. What this means is that the family of the Nigerian man happens to know the family of the girl. So both families, they can vouch for themselves. Now you need to keep in mind that family structure is very important for us Nigerians. The kind of family you're coming out from is very, very important for us Nigerians. So if your parents know a particular family and they both have good relationship and they know that they are both coming from respectable homes, if they happen to have children that are single, there could be some kind of connection. It could be like, oh, let's meet together, and they connect. Sometimes it could be the mom of the boy or the father asking the girl's mom, is your daughter seeing anyone? Is she single? Because I would love my son to marry her. And the next thing, they are introduced. Before you know it, they are married and they have a family. So this is another way most Nigerians basically get to meet their partner, through family connection. Another way is through friends. Now, some Nigerian men basically meet their partners through friends. It could be that they have a very good friend who knows a lady who is a family friend to the friend. Is that confusing? Let me break it down. So the Nigerian man has a friend, and this friend knows a lady who happens to be a good family friend. So the Nigerian man, his friend, could do him the favor of introducing him to the girl. Now, he's introducing him to the girl because he can vouch, of his the character of his friend. Like, his friend is good, is a good guy. You're single. I can like vouch that he would do you well if both of you go into relationship. Sometimes you visit your friend and then you see a family friend there and you start asking your friend, who's that girl? And before you know, numbers are exchanged, relationship starts, and the rest is history. They get married and they start living happy. another way they meet is through, from environment and social life. Sometimes we meet our partners, from the environment where, we're actually coming from. Maybe where you grew up, there's this girl you've been, keeping track of her over time. And, you like what you see, you love the kind of family she's coming from. You guys are from the same environment, the same area, as we put it in Nigeria. And then, you just take your move, and then you go in, and the next thing, you guys are in a relationship and it works. Sometimes we also meet at work. It could be like maybe she's a colleague, a junior colleague, or someone who is doing our intern, whatever. But there's this connection. It happens, they meet, and then something happens. It could be through other social lives, like maybe you share common hobbies or you have similar hobbies. A lot of things. You just find yourself, gravitating towards each other, and the next thing, you guys are together because something serious happens, and before you know it, you're married and you start your life. Now, having said this, what about dating sites or online relationship? What do Nigerian men basically think about it? Well, the truth is, an average Nigerian man in Nigeria, is not going online to look for a wife. Now, you heard me right. I repeat it again. An average Nigerian man in Nigeria is likely not going to go online in search of a partner. Now, this doesn't mean that Nigerian men have not met Nigerian women online. Of course, some have met, but this is something that happens by chance. It could be on Facebook or Instagram, something that just happens randomly. It could be that maybe they were both on a page, and people were commenting, and the guy and this lady, they were exchanging threads of comments, and then he checks the profile of the lady, and then he inboxes her, and then they start talking, and then they meet. So basically, the goal of creating the social meeting on social media, or having a social media account, wasn't to find a wife. It was just like everyone else opening a social media page, to connect to people. But in this case, some people randomly, they just meet someone, and then the rest is history. However, if you find yourself in a situation where, a Nigerian man is texting you uh, on social media, and you're not sure, well, this would give you the answer. So, back to the question, what then do Nigerian men think about dating women online? Well, to give a clear perspective to this, to understand this, you have to first of all look at the Nigerian man, and also look at the location. The man and the location, it is very important to look at the man and the location to understand what he's there for in terms of an online relationship. I'll give you a classical example. If a Nigerian man comes to Europe, either maybe he comes to study, uh, to work, or he came and then decided to seek asylum. Now, one way he could get a partner or get someone to date is by going online and registering in an online dating site. This is the major way for most Nigerians to find partners when they are in the West, in Europe, in North America, United States, Canada, Australia. This is one of the major ways. If they don't want to go to nightclub, of course, then they have to go to this online dating site to look for women. And the reason is the culture in the West is totally different from the culture back home. For instance, in Nigeria, a man could meet a lady and walk up to her, talk to her, and also, ask for the number of this lady politely. If she is interested, she would release a number. If she's not, she won't release a number. But this is not something a lot of Nigerian men don't want to do with Western women in the West, so they don't consider it to be like, oh, it's assault and this. So one way is for them to go through online dating site, create a profile, and then try to see if they can reach out to any woman they find interesting, and then start a relationship. This is one of the major reason. Either they're doing it for love or they're doing it for papers. I really don't know. Well, you have to be very patient to find out. Now, on the other hand, if you're talking to a Nigerian man, who is in Nigeria, and he is, writing you on social media, Facebook or Instagram, or you are writing with this Nigerian man who is in Nigeria from a dating site, you know, it is very important for you to consider certain things. First, now, if you meet a Nigerian man in Nigeria and is writing you on Facebook and on IG, it's something that could happen. The chances of the relationship being real is 50-50. One way to know the true intention of this Nigerian man is to first of all check his followers on Facebook and on Instagram. Now, if you discover that his followers on Instagram and on Facebook are mostly Western women, if you discover that 70 or 60% of the people who he has as followers on his Facebook and Instagram are Western women, then you know that his intentions are likely not clean. Probably he's out there looking for a Western woman. So it's not a question of now he's looking for a partner. He has a target. It could be women from US or Canada. Then you know that his intentions are not clean, and 80% of the time it doesn't work. 80% of the time it doesn't work. But if you look at his followers, and if the followers of this guy is a mixture of people from the West, Nigeria, and everything, then there's a slight chance that okay, this guy is legit, is genuine, is someone who is honest, and maybe it's just sheer coincidence that you guys, connected with one another. So you need to think this thing through. Now, if you're chatting with one on a dating site and he's in Nigeria, the first thing you need to understand is a lot of dating sites don't work in Nigeria. So some of these guys go through stress to either use VPN to go, around it to have an account, or sometimes they look for someone they know in the West to help them open an account so they can access it from Nigeria through the use of a VPN. So it is important for you, when you're writing with one on a dating site and is in Nigeria, to think thoroughly. You need to ask question: how did he create that account? It's important for you to know how did he create the account. You need to do your research to know if that particular dating site is allowed in Nigeria. If it's not allowed in Nigeria, then you should suspect foul play. And the next thing is, why then is he looking for Western women? I mean, there are no shortage of women in Nigeria. You need to look into these two questions seriously, to make sure that you are not bamboozled and deceived. Very important. And it's also important to understand that most Nigerian men, like I said in the beginning, social media is the least of places an average Nigerian man is going to look for a partner or to look for a wife. And it's also important that if you are talking to a Nigerian man who is abroad via social media, it is the easier and easiest way to connect to Western women, because not everyone who is talking to you on social media on dating site wants to use you. It's just the easier way, because you don't have this culture where you can stop a lady on the street and then you start talking to her like we do in Nigeria. So it's very, very important for them to register an account, to look for a partner. So the location, like I said before, is the most important thing. If you're talking to a Nigerian man and you want to understand what the Nigerian man thinks about dating women online, the first thing you want to make sure you have figured out is his location. If he's located in Nigeria, then you need to walk carefully and make sure he's not with you for all the wrong reasons. If he's located in your country, you have to cut him some slack. Like I said before, a lot of them have to have an account on dating site to have access to you because of the culture you have in the West and in Africa. Now, in conclusion, guys, one of the best ways to meet a Nigerian man, and for it to work, is if you just met out of sheer coincidence. It's not planned. I'm not saying if you meet a Nigerian man on a dating site or social media, it's not going to work. Of course, there are a lot of cases of people meeting Nigerian men on these places and it works. But the thing is, most scam, romance scam that happen, they all always originate from social media, and dating site. And like I said, it is very important, very, very important to understand the location this man is chatting from. If you want to understand his mindset on online dating, you have to know the location. If he's chatting from Nigeria, you have to know why he's chatting with Nigeria. Look at his followers. If he's chatting from his social media handle, if you have a lot of Western women he's following, then he has a target. If his followers are just random, then he could be legit. If he's on a dating site and he's chatting from Nigeria, then it's likely he has a target. So you need to look at all of these things, and then you have a clear conclusion of what Nigerian men think about dating women online. So guys, as always, like, share, subscribe. Home Truth Nigeria. Peace out.